I want to talk about a player that I'm surprised doesn't get more attention given how hyped up he was coming out of college. Now, if you look at some of his analytics, you might be wondering, why was he so hyped up coming out of college? Don't get me wrong, these are very good analytics. Some of them even great, like the pass rush win rate of 20 was, that's a very good pass rush win rate. But, an 86.6 overall grade in just 542 snaps, and really his only year of looking like that kind of player, that's definitely something that can make you say, okay, yeah, why was he so hyped up? But a lot of it was athleticism as well. He had good analytics, but paired with elite level athleticism, even me, who tends to pay way more attention to analytics, also fell in love with Jaelan Phillips in the draft process and felt like he should have been drafted higher than just 18th overall by the Miami Dolphins. However, the consensus big board did not agree. They had Jaelan Phillips as the 20th overall prospect, so they kind of, he ended up going around where he was projected to go. There was another edge rusher projected to go ahead of him, Kwity Paye. Why were some people lower on Phillips? It was a lot of injury stuff. He had a lot of concussions in college, which is scary just in general for like his, livelihood, but also scary for, from the football perspective of, is he a concussion away from being out of the league? But so far, it has been a resounding success for the Miami Dolphins to have Jaelan Phillips on the roster. If you look at his Pro Football Focus grades, the 2 years he was in the league, year one, it wasn't spectacular, but one thing that he did do a good job of is he racked up a good amount of pressures year one. So while he didn't necessarily have the best PFF grades and didn't have the best consistency, he still did show the flashes in year one. And year two, it was another level. He looked very good. Although I do have to say, his sacks, like if you just watched all of his sacks from last year, those weren't overly impressive as much. He still had some, but a lot of them weren't necessarily him beating tackles clean off the line. There were kind of other ways, but he was beating tackles off the line. He just kind of got unlucky and also lucky in a weird way at the same time. Like you look at the PFF grades of an 88.8 overall grade, a 90 pass rush, you typically expect more sacks than he ended up with, but it seemed like when he should have gotten a sack, the quarterback got rid of the ball earlier, but then on a play he really didn't deserve a sack, those were the ones that he had the opportunities for. It was just a weird thing that happened, which is why looking at PFF grades and pressures is better than just looking at sack totals, which he's very good in those categories. Let's start off with this play, why don't we? Going up one-on-one against a tackle, and this is going to be him being able to, kind of a good example of what I'm talking about, really, where what's going to happen on it, it's a one-on-one matchup with the right tackle, and he's going to try to use his speed here, really, to be able to get the pressure. That's what he's going to go for. Watch how when this play begins, you see the right tackle kind of stick his hand out, but Phillips doing a good job at knocking it down. You see how he kind of knocks it away a little bit. And for a right tackle, that right hand is obviously so important. A lot of edge rushers are going to try to get to the outside, and if you can get that right hand kind of on the edge rusher's sort of left shoulder area, left pec area, you're going to probably be able to block him. But since Phillips moved so quickly and was able to knock the hand out of the way, it's going to be really difficult to the point where the tackle's not even going to try to just block him straight up. You're going to do the thing, which is usually a decent strategy of just get your hand on the edge rusher's hips, push him behind your quarterback, give your quarterback the 2.5 seconds you need for the play to work. However, that doesn't really work out as well either. Phillips runs in, Allen just happened to get rid of the football quicker, but again, I don't care. That's out of his control. All you can do as an edge rusher is win the matchup, get the pass rush win rate up, right? That's the kind of thing that you can do, and then hopefully when you get the opportunities, capitalize, which he certainly does. When he gets opportunities, he capitalizes, and he gets plenty of opportunities as well. One thing that was surprising to me, I didn't realize how much snaps he got from the inside. He's definitely someone who would play from the inside, and it makes sense. He's a bigger edge rusher, not not one of these like 280-pound guys, but he's 265. He's definitely bigger for an edge rusher, and why not have him play on the inside on occasion, like what's going to happen here, going up one-on-one against Cincinnati's right guard. Watch how, right off the bat, looks like he's going to try to use power to win, and honestly, he can pull this kind of stuff off. Sometimes his technique isn't like oh my God, what great hand placement, what great, what a technician. Sometimes it's just winning. You can do that too. Watch him just sort of overpower the guard and gets to Burrow. Burrow, again, got rid of the ball quickly, so he wasn't able to actually get the sack there, but still a very good play to pull something like that off. You also have something like this, which is really a great play. He's once again on the inside, and I like the idea of using him this way. I think it's really smart because he really, I thought, did a good job of winning pretty consistently when he was used this way. Watch how when his play begins, watch that left arm and how he gets his left arm underneath the left arm of the left guard that he's going up against. A lot of lefts there. But once he gets into this position, again, as a guard, what can you really do? Now, one weird thing is, I believe the ref's going to call a hold on the guard here, but you are allowed to hold on in this scenario as long as you keep your arm where it's at, because your arm got there simply due to the fact that the rip move is what caused it to happen. But still, watch what happens. Watch as even as he tries to hold on, Phillips is just too strong. He overpowers him and eventually gets to Burrow. And hey, there you go. Finally gets an actual sack, not just the pressure. Finally it happened. Good for Jaelan Phillips. But also stuff like this is another thing where it's not necessarily related to how well you rush the passer, but it feels like all of the best edge rushers find ways to impact the game in other ways. They're not just good edge rushers. They can play coverage. They can, stop the run, all of that stuff. And this is a great example of just a different kind of play that Phillips is still going to do well on. So the way it works is it's going to be a play action where Burrow then runs towards the top of the screen. The way that this play typically works is that sometimes edge rushers get a little over-eager, run too far towards the middle of the field. You then have a receiver who's going to flash towards the top of the screen, and you flip it to him. Hopefully you can gain some yards. But right when this play begins, a couple things to note. First off, Phillips does a good job at not getting himself too far out of position. You see he's in relatively solid position right here. Did not, get too over-eager. And so then when the play resumes, he's able to get over and he is able to still make a tackle and not give up too many yards on that play. That's a very good play from Jaelan Phillips, and these are the kind of things that he is capable of doing, as well as, finding an impact in other ways, which is, just really good stuff, I think, from Phillips. And that's kind of what allows him to be a really effective player. And he's still only in year 2, and he absolutely, I think, can continue to get better as a player and probably will continue to get better as a player, because it's not like he has a ton of snaps under his belt coming out of college. So there's still a bit of a learning process for him. But even while he's in the learning process, he's been a very effective player for Miami. And part of me does wonder if, I feel like everyone always talks about pass rush and coverage as pass rush helps out the coverage. People don't tend to talk about it the other way, but it's just as true, if not more true, the other way. If quarterbacks are getting rid of the football in 1 second, there's no pass rusher in the world who can get to the quarterback in less time than that. However, if there's good coverage, quarterbacks have to hold on to the ball for a little bit longer, and then that's what allows really for some great stuff. So, some pressures and sacks and all that good stuff. So, yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Jaelan Phillips. I do wonder next year if with Jalen Ramsey coming to town, could we see more just box score stats and stuff? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.